Look at that art. How you doing? This is Alex with Green Revolution again. I have my good friend Alan here, who's definitely the most talented graffiti artist I've ever met. And where are we, Alan?
We're in Branchville Park. We call this place Four Diamonds. Been coming here since I was really little, before I started writing graffiti. And this is where you came when you just wanted to see some really cool art by the elders, I would call them. You know, back then, if you painted here, you were pretty dope in this area.
Yeah.
Now too, you know, as well, it's updated a little bit. But when I first came here, it looked like it did today, but a lot of older people. Now it's, you know, a mix of old and younger generation. You know, It's a really cool place for me to come and release some stress. Look at some art. Look at what I love to do.
And so, I mean, if you take a look over here, would you mind giving us sort of like a tour of what we're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, that's just, you know, your basic nurse with the needle, you know.
Right.
Might look a little scary. Take it how you want it. But, you know, this looks like a production that these people, you know, one day they woke up and they all wanted to paint together, and they were like, you know what, let's come here and let's paint.
Right.
They might have drank a couple beers, you know, probably a Saturday, Sunday morning, hung out, painted, had a good time. Some
sort of cathartic release, you know, creative expression.
Exactly. You're releasing endorphins, you're releasing stress, you're, you know, releasing the week away.
Yeah.
You know, they come here, they come together, all different races, white, black, Spanish, Chinese, whatever it may be. They drink some beers, they hang out, they paint, they interact, because there's kids coming around here all the time, especially on the other side is the park, it's Branchville Park. So they come here and they paint, they release stress in a non-violent way. Yeah, and that's huge, especially for, you know, inner cities, over any of us actually, right? Like, let alone inner cities. So interesting. And, you know, why should we care about art in the first place? I mean, I've found myself when I taught in Newark, when we did the garden, and now, you know, when I'm teaching the suburbs and just in general, you know, that they can have paintings, murals, any sort of artistic sculpture, massive effects on people, you know, and their mindset. And I'm always curious from a real artist, you know, why should we care? Like, you know, what is it about it that makes a difference, you know? Well, art is, you know, a vision of our generation as it is today. Some stuff you see here, this may not relate to something that's, you know, political or going on in the world today, but it relates to society. You know, these adults came out and they painted this together. But there are productions, there are pieces that will relate to politics. Why do we invest millions? Why is a Jackson Pollock painting that's just paint millions of dollars, I should say, not billions? Why is that so much money? No, this is our generation. You know, this is graffiti. This is the new art form.
New art form.
Abstract. Every generation has a different art form, and this is the new one of today. And people don't see it as that. People see it as graffiti. Well, guess what? Graffiti is the new art form. Graffiti
is the new art form. And you mind taking us a tour down here? Because this is actually really expansive. When we were walking in, you were showing me just how much, I mean, we have wall after wall. I mean, it looks like this is, what is this, Kill Bill, right? Looks like it.
It looks a little, it actually is Kill Bill. This is a Kill Bill production.
All right. Now, I think of art, I think of, like, you know, there's that, maybe a misconception that it's for the elite, or a misconception that it's for, like, the weak, flowery, sort of, I don't want to say feminine, because when I think of feminine, I think strong too, but that was sort of the weak and very artistically sort of, it's there's no substance, there's no purpose of it. And I think about, it's almost like the opposite. It's almost like it calls for, like, higher cognition and to be able to assess your identity and look at the world. And I mean, I don't even know. Look at this. This is, I mean, it's awesome. How many hours do you think it took to paint that?
Definitely a full day, if not more than one day.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like you said, this is something that people could express themselves. It may not mean something to somebody else.
Yeah.
But it means something to the person who painted.
Right.
And it's gonna mean something to someone who walks on it and may not understand it and may look at it, and it may change their mental for the day. They may They may come here and, like, you know, maybe they're too far gone into the digital world and they needed to go for a walk, and they stumble upon a whole bunch of colors, and it takes your mind somewhere else. You may not know it, but when you look at a piece of art, it changes the way you're thinking at the moment.
And I'm so glad you said it, because one of my heroes is Jim Carrey, and he had this speech at Maharishi University, which they practice transcendental meditation, and he had this massive, this massive painting. He said it took him like 30 days or something, right? And he said it's the only thing he does, and Winston Churchill says this too, the only thing they do that completely engages their mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical, it completely engages their whole person, and like almost transporting you, I don't want to say to a different time, but definitely a different state, right?
Yeah.
A mental state of
Different mental state.
So you're not stressing about things. You're not stressing about things. You're just in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying over there with political terms, this isn't political, but artwork is there to speak to people that don't want to hear. Maybe they want to see. When I'm on the internet, I don't like to read. I like to see. I like to see images.
Interesting.
So people might, this might attract those type of people that don't like to read stuff. They like to look at a piece of artwork and, get a feeling from it, or maybe it's gonna, pass off the economy we're in today. There could be a production of art with Donald Trump on the podium with certain characters saying certain things about how they feel about this, what the United States is doing right now.
Right. No, and I think about how you mentioned the word economy, right? So I mean, some of the most successful and wealthiest people we know of are the actors, right? Are these people in Hollywood? Are these people that are almost like writing the narrative to our story? This is our story, right?
Yeah.
Through music, through the media, through cinema, and through painted art. And I think that that says a lot. The kind of power you can have to influence generations through one picture.
And you know what the best part about it is? You say actors, you say famous people.
Yeah.
They have a way of persuading or pursuing their vision to us nationally. Not everybody has that opportunity. That's why art is important. That's why graffiti is important. Because not for nothing, there's not all legal graffiti. There is illegal graffiti for those people that may not have that national visibility that they're looking for.
Right.
They'll do it illegally to make other people see what they see, and that's a big statement. It's anti-media. The media displays a lot of things that they make certain people do certain things to make us feel some type of way. That's what graffiti doesn't do. Graffiti, there's nobody telling you what to write.
Yeah.
There's you're doing it yourself. You're expressing yourself. There's nobody behind your method but you.
And I think I like how you said that, like, it's the almost anti-media, right?
Yeah.
And I think about like the media I see when I'm driving in to a city or driving out of a suburb or into the rural country. You see graffiti, you're forced. It's there. It's on the billboard, right? It like they're saying like we're still here or something else is still going on, or like it's almost like what bubbles up, right? That doesn't want to be said in some ways. I think that has a nice ring to it. Who's the really interesting graffiti artist in New York that makes all the ones that sort of blend into the actual walls, right? And like
you can be talking about Banksy.
Yeah, that's who it is. That's who it is. Right.
He's national. He's the whole world. He does stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he expresses himself. He may be mainstream to us because the media is displaying him, but he's displaying his own feelings.
Right.
It's not controlled by the media.
And what kind of advice would you give to our younger generation, even our older generation, anybody that wants to pursue art, either as a hobby, as a passion, as something that could be a professional thing to do? Because I know that you've made a very significant in the world of media and advertising, and so how would you advise people to sort of stick to that passion, sort of follow your bliss, and not give up even though there's a lot of challenges out there?
Just express yourself. That's it. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry. I mean, you may worry about the legalities, you may not, but that's up to you. Whatever you want to express, you express. Don't let anybody alter the way you see the world. And you have that chance to express it on a wall, on paper, anywhere.
And then you can, potentially shift and alter the way other people see their world.
Exactly.
To become perhaps more in line with yours.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's some powerful stuff. I mean, this is, every ethnicity, every generation. I mean, look at this one here. And again, we're in Branch Brook Park, Brook Park in Newark, New Jersey. Any other places you recommend or to go to see great art, or wherever you whether you call it graffiti or not, or great artists who you think people would like to tune into?
Well, I would just like to take this time out. I mean, 5 Points was big from when I was growing up. That's no longer there, which is really upsetting. That was probably like a 5-story building, 6-story building of covered head to toe with graffiti.
Oh wow.
Now you just drive through your local your local neighborhoods. I mean, come here, Branchbrook Park. This is nice. I mean, you can check it out. You can't really paint here, but you can check it out.
Right.
There's a lot of places. You just have to look.
Right.
And hopefully, maybe you find a place and start your own. Start a movement. That's what this is all about. It's a movement.
Love it. And where can people find information about you and the great services you offer? Because I've seen some of your tags, and I remember you did a phenomenal donated Green Revolution. It's a Green Revolution. It said Green Revolution. It's a Green Revolution. That's why I said it that way. Outside of our urban farm in Newark. So, where can we find you? Where can we get your information? How can we connect with you? Because it's rare to find an artist like you, and I just want to give everybody the opportunity.
BICsolutions.net. That's my business. I do murals. I do advertising, marketing. I do this. This is a hobby, but I do professional stuff as well.
Great. BICsolutions.net.
Yep.
Alan DeRisi, BICsolutions.net. Anything inspirational, anything motivational, any sort of quote or thought you want to share with our viewers?
Stay positive and express yourself. That's my biggest thing.
Stay positive and express yourself.
Yep.
And how do you stay positive when everything around you sometimes seems so negative?
You take that negative and you look at other people's stresses, who may be worse than yours, who may be a little bit less than yours. But you have to be positive for other people that can't. Maybe you can't stay positive in such a negative world, but you got to think about the millions of other people that may be feeling the same way. But if we all try to switch that negativity to positivity, it takes just one person to change one other person. That's all you need to worry about. If you can influence one other person's life, do it. Because that person may influence one other person, and then you have a whole movement starting, and maybe there will be some more positivity in the world.
Love it. Thank you, Alan DeRisi. Website again?
BICsolutions.net.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're
Beautiful
welcome.
art. Beautiful.
Awesome.